Last year, I made a video about why Japan doesn't use central heating in winter, and everyone kept asking the same question. So how do people stay warm in winter? Today, I will show you how Japanese people actually survive winter, especially in old houses like the one I grew up in. Right, so this is a room I always use when I'm back home. And as you can see, it's not ready for winter at all. So let's start transforming it into winter mode. Alright, so first thing first, I need to warm up this room. In cold, rural areas of Japan, the most common way to do that is with a kerosene heater. Japanese houses like this aren't well insulated, unfortunately, so heating the entire house doesn't really make sense. Instead, people focus on warming the room they actually use and doing it quickly. That is exactly why kerosene heaters became so common in the countryside in Japan. Even though there is an air conditioner here, it's pretty much useless in a house with almost no insulation. The warm air escapes too easily and it takes too long to feel comfortable. With a kerosene heater, you get strong, direct heat right away. Okay, the heater is now on and the room is slowly warming up. Honestly, with just this heater, I can survive the entire winter. But since I'm here, I want to make it as comfortable as possible. So let's keep preparing the room. The next thing I always set up is this, the hot carpet. If you've never lived in Japan, this might look rather strange. It's basically an electric heating mat that goes under your feet. And in Japan, homes where the floors get freezing in winter, the thing is a lifesaver. In Japan, in the countryside especially, many people still sit and live close to the floor, especially in traditional houses like this one. And since warm air rises, the floor is often the coldest part of the room. That is why, instead of heating the air, people focus on warming the surface they actually touch. Normally, all you do is roll it out, plug it in, and the floor becomes warm and comfortable. But in this room, I actually don't need to turn the hot carpet on. That might sound a little strange, but there is a reason for that. You will see why later. Since I've set up the heated carpet, the next thing I want to prepare is a kotatsu, a traditional Japanese winter essential. If you don't know what a kotatsu is, it's basically a low table with a heater underneath, but covered with a thick blanket to trap the heat. Once you sit inside, you never want to leave. It's honestly one of the most dangerous inventions Japan has ever made. In traditional Japanese houses like this, while heating the entire room doesn't really work, as I told you, the heat escapes too easily and the space is often too large. That is why, instead of trying to warm the whole room, people focus on warming their bodies directly. That's exactly where the kotatsu comes in. By trapping heat under the blanket, it keeps your lower body warm even when the rest of the room is cold. In houses like this, the kotatsu isn't just furniture, it becomes the center of winter life. People eat here, watch TV here, take naps here, and sometimes never comes out again. So, of course, setting this up is a must in winter. Alright, so let me put the blanket on, adjust the table, and plug everything in. This alone already makes a huge difference, but in this house, there is actually one more trick that makes the kotatsu even more effective. So here's how this kotatsu actually works in my house. Instead of turning on the built-in heater, I place this pipe in front of the kerosene stove I set up earlier. The stove blows warm air and the pipe captures that heat and delivers it directly into the kotatsu. All I have to do is position the pipe like this and then run the other end inside the kotatsu. Once the stove starts producing warm air, it flows through the pipe and fills the inside of the kotatsu with heat. But this kind of setup makes sense in other Japanese houses where heating the whole room is inefficient. Instead of wasting heat, people reuse the warmth they already have and focus it exactly where they need it. It might look like a little strange, but this is a common trick in old houses in Japan. It's warmer, more efficient, and honestly makes a kotatsu feel even better than the built-in heater. This way the entire space becomes toasty and I can stay warm for hours without heating the whole room. Even with the stove, the kotatsu, and the warm air coming through the pipes, there is still one part of body that always feels cold: my back. In traditional Japanese houses, the heat mostly stays in front of you and the air behind you is often much colder. So here is what I do. I take an electric blanket and press it over my zaisu, the Japanese floor chair. When I lean back, the blanket warms my entire back and the difference is immediate. It feels in that one cold spot that the kotatsu and the stove just can't reach. Once you warm the front of your body with the kotatsu and your back with the electric blanket, the whole setup becomes incredibly comfortable. It's another example of how, instead of heating the entire room, Japanese homes focus on warming the body directly, one part at a time. Alright, so now the room is warm and the kotatsu is ready. The next thing I need to prepare is what I actually wear during the winter. Even with all these heaters, Japanese houses can still get really cold, especially hallway, so what you wear indoors makes a huge difference. So this is my go-to winter outfit, Uniqlo's Ultra Warm Heat Tech. It's much thicker than regular underwear. Now that I've shown you what I wear on top, there is one more thing I always use in winter. These heat tech leggings. In Japan, people sometimes call them pachi, and they were traditionally known as momohiki, an old-fashioned type of underwear. They used to be seen as something mainly older people wore in winter, but that has changed completely. Though nowadays even younger people wear them, especially in colder rural regions like this. In Tokyo, I can survive winter without them, but out here, these leggings make a huge difference. They keep your legs warm without feeling bulky, and once you start wearing them, it's honestly hard to go back. But honestly, once you have warm room, warm kotatsu, and warm clothes, you're pretty much ready to survive a Japanese winter. Even with all the heat tech layers I wear, there is one more thing that makes a huge difference on really cold days: harukairo, or stick-on body warmers. Heat tech keeps your whole body warm, but the harukairo works like a booster. You stick it directly onto your clothing and it slowly warms your body for hours. But many people in Japan put them on their lower back or stomach because those areas help warm their whole body more efficiently. And since they are thin and lightweight, you can wear them outside without even noticing. Especially when I have to go outside, harukairo add that extra layer of warmth that heat tech alone can't provide. Once you try it, it's hard to go through a Japanese winter without it. There's one more important thing you have to prepare for winter in a Japanese house: the bathroom. No matter how warm the living room is, the bathroom and the toilet are usually freezing in Japan. And sitting on a cold toilet seat in winter is honestly kind of torture. That is why many Japanese toilets have built-in seat heater. You can turn on this switch and the seat warm up so you don't get shocked by the cold. It sounds like a small thing, but in a house with almost no insulation, this feature is a lifesaver. But in this countryside house, the toilet room itself gets extremely cold, especially in the morning. So I also place a small space heater here. It warms up the air around your legs and makes the whole experience a lot more comfortable. And the same goes for the bathroom. In fact, during winter in Japan, many people, especially the elderly, suffer from what's called heat shock. This happens when you go from a warm room to a very cold bathroom and your blood pressure suddenly spikes. Sadly, thousands of Japanese people die from this every year. So keeping the bathroom warm isn't just about comfort, it's actually a safety issue in Japan. That is why many Japanese bathrooms come with a built-in heating function. You press this button and warm air blows into the room so you don't feel shocked by the cold when you step inside. Some systems even warm up the floor with hot water so your feet don't touch an icy surface when you walk in. When it comes to the bathtub itself, Japanese homes also have something called the oidaki function or the reheating function. Since families usually share the same bath water, this system warms the water back up so everyone can enjoy a hot bath without refilling it. On cold winter night, being able to reheat the water instantly is incredibly convenient. And of course, there is also the Japanese habit of soaking in hot bath. But instead of taking a quick shower, people often sit in the bathtub for 10 to 15 minutes to warm up their entire body. After heating the bathroom and reheating the bath water, soaking like this keeps you warm for a long time even after getting out. There's one more winter tradition in Japan that uses bath. During the winter solstice, many Japanese people put whole yuzu citrus fruits into the bathtub. The smell is refreshing, and the oils from the peel warm your body and help your skin stay hydrated. It's a small seasonal ritual, but it makes the bath feel special and refreshing. Even today, a lot of families still enjoy a yuzu bath every winter. After taking a hot bath, there is nothing better in winter than eating nabe, or Japanese hot pot. It's one of the most common winter meals in Japan. You put vegetable, meat, tofu, and mushrooms into one big pot. Let everything simmer and everyone gathered around the table to eat together. There are so many different types of hot pot: miso, soy sauce, and kimchi nabe, and simple salt broth. No matter the flavor, the warmth of the steam and the shared pot make the whole room feel cozy. In a cold house like this, a hot pot warms you from the inside and it's the perfect meal on winter night. For Japanese people, hot pot isn't just food. It's a winter tradition that brings everyone together and warms you from the inside. After warming up with a hot meal and a bath, the last thing I do before going to bed is prepare for sleep. One thing I always use is a haramaki, which is a wrap that goes around your stomach. It might look simple, but it keeps your core warm while you sleep. Another great thing about the haramaki is that it keeps your underwear from riding up or slipping out of your pants while you sleep. Well, have you ever woken up in winter because your shirt or underwear came untucked and your back got cold? Well, with the haramaki, that never happens and you stay warm until morning. The one thing I really rely on in winter is an electric blanket again. I put it under my regular blanket, turn it on about 10 or 15 minutes before bed, and it warms up the entire afternoon. Until recently, I used a traditional hot water bottle, but my family is using it now, so I switched to this electric blanket instead. Another tool I sometimes use is a futon dryer to send hot air into the futon all at once to warm it up. Since Japanese houses can get damp in winter, blowing hot air through the futon keeps it dry and toasty. It's a total game changer. That moment when you get into a pre-warmed bed is honestly one of the best feelings in winter. It keeps the cold away and helps you fall asleep much easier and faster. With the haramaki and the electric blanket, even the traditional Japanese house like this becomes comfortable enough to sleep through the night without freezing. And that is how I survive winter in the traditional Japanese house. And I'm curious, what do people do in your country to stay warm during winter? Let me know in the comment box below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my next one where I dive deeper into how we spend our life in winter. Alright, so thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video. See you soon. Bye.